Hello everyone, today I'll be checking out La Casa Mia and trying their Japanese Italian food. Yes, you heard me right, they serve up Japanese Italian food, which is basically like Italian food with a Japanese twist. Japanese Italian food is also known as Itameshi in Japan, and it's a Japanese Italian fusion cuisine that is actually quite popular in Japan, but for some reason I've never heard of it until today. I love both Japanese food and Italian food, but combined together, I'm not sure. I guess I'm just gonna have to find out. So let's go. I made here to La Casa Mia, and I love the interior and design of the restaurant. The name of the restaurant translates to My Home in Italian, and I feel like they really captured that with the atmosphere of this restaurant because it does feel very homey. Right before they brought out the food, they brought out some of this complimentary soup in a little cup, and I'm curious about this because it looks like there's a little bit of onions and maybe some parsley on top as well. Oh, that is warm and comforting. It's just a delightful, like oniony, light vegetable broth. And it's the perfect thing just to waken up your taste buds before you dive into all the delicious food. First, I want to start off with the appetizers. The first one I'm going to try is their honey mustard fried chicken. And I think this one is pretty interesting because it doesn't seem particularly Japanese Italian, but it did look really tasty, so I wanted to try it. And I'm guessing maybe the reason this is like more of a Japanese Italian dish is because it sort of looks like Japanese chicken karaage, which is like a Japanese style fried chicken. Oh, that is fantastic. That is actually pretty much what I expected. The outside is very crispy and crunchy, almost like a chicken karaage. And I'm really impressed because even though it's drenched in that honey mustard sauce, it still retains its crispiness. And also, because they're giant pieces of chicken, they're so fatty and juicy and delicious. And I love the glaze on top because it's not overly mustard tasting. It just has a very light flavor. And for the most part, it's just like a sweet, sticky honey glaze. And I love honey on fried chicken because it's just like the perfect pairing of savory and sweet. For my other appetizer, I also ordered their eggplant parmigiana, and what makes this a Japanese flair is they use Japanese eggplant. Oh, the presentation and the taste of that is fantastic. I love how they bring it out on an iron skillet so it's sizzling hot, and that really crispifies the cheese and gets it all crispy. And then beneath that, you have the soft and tender, juicy eggplant, and then a little bit of meat sauce as well, which I love because it definitely gives it a little bit more heftiness. Next, I want to try their mentaiko cream pasta, and this is the one I was looking forward to the most. It's like spaghetti, and then they put it in a heavy cream sauce with mentaiko, which is salted cod roe, and it's a little bit spicy, and it's also an ingredient that I rarely find in restaurants here in the States, but it's something I absolutely love, and I always try to get when I'm in Japan. Here we go. This just looks creamy and full of mentaiko. Wow, this is absolutely incredible. It's just a burst of rich, salty and umami flavors. When I think of the word umami, just the iconic savory flavor, this is like the essence of it because it certainly delivers on all of the mentaiko. I mean, oftentimes when I get a mentaiko dish here in the States, it's very mild, but not here. I mean, I can taste all the individual cod roe in there, and it just bursts with a savory and slightly spicy flavor. Then I just love the heaviness of all the cream because it's just really warm and comforting, and it coats all of your taste buds. And also, the pasta is cooked al dente just the way I like it. I think the real key is all of their pasta, including the spaghetti, is handmade. And to me, I can really tell when it's handmade versus boxed when you get it at a restaurant, because I can really taste the tenderness and the smoothness and the chew of the pasta. Next, I'll be trying out the salmon pasta, and I'm really curious about this one because it's topped with salmon and salmon roe. Wow, this feels like the essence of Japanese Italian food. The flavor of this is really interesting. Instead of a sauce, it's almost like a sweet soy glaze. It's very sticky. Then you have tender pieces of flaky salmon, all the delicious spaghetti, and then you get a little bit of ocean flavor and brininess from all the salmon around there, but I like how it doesn't overwhelm it. It just gives it a slightly seafoody flavor and makes this one heck of a dish. Another one of my favorite parts of this dish is all the sameji mushrooms that are in there, which are a Japanese variety of mushrooms. They had a really strong woodsy sort of wild mushroom flavor to this. Now I want to try their bacon peppercino pasta, and this one looks delicious because it looks like it's topped off with a little bit of shredded hot peppers, and then there's also pieces of juicy looking bacon in there. Oh, this is another very well done pasta. I love the blend of flavors. The bacon itself is really interesting because it's like a cross between ham and bacon because it's very juicy, and I love how the smoky flavor really just spreads throughout the entire pasta dish. And then the hot peppers on top actually don't taste very spicy. It's just very mild and adds a very slight kick. And I also love that there's plenty of minced garlic in here, so it adds a nice brightness, and then you get a little bit of sweetness from the onions to balance it all out. Next I'll be trying their sukiyaki pasta, and this sounds really interesting because I love sukiyaki. It's typically like a sweet Japanese stew mixed with like beef and vegetables, but for here it just looks like it's the marinated beef topped over the pasta with a nice runny egg yolk on top. Wow, the presentation on this is fantastic. I'm just going to take off the topping. Now I'll break into this soft egg, and it looks like a soft boiled egg, and then we're just going to spread around all of this beautiful golden yolk, because I feel like that's going to make this taste so much better, because you gotta have a little bit of egg with the meat and with the pasta. Wow, I have a little bit of everything. I got a little bit of mushroom, egg, meat, and some noodles, so let's go for a bite of this. Wow, everything about this dish just complements each other. You first taste the creaminess of the egg yolk, and then you get the sweetness from the iconic sukiyaki sauce, and then you have the meatiness from the beef and the chewiness in the noodles. And I also love the mushroom, and also I didn't realize it, they also have some tofu in here, which I think is pretty interesting because that's another classic sukiyaki item. I'll be honest, when I first heard about this restaurant, I thought it might be kind of unusual since I've never had anything like this before, especially with all these Japanese-inspired pastas, but the more I eat it and the more of these I try, it seems like every dish just works. However it is, I think they use their high-quality ingredients, but the blend of Japanese flavors and Italian cuisine just blend together seamlessly, it seems. Next, I'll be trying their meat sauce and pork cutlet pasta, and this looks really interesting because I feel like this is like a cross between chicken parmesan and like a Japanese pork tonkatsu cutlet. There's so many elements to this dish, but I want to start off with the pork cutlet. Oh, this is just unbelievable. This is definitely very much a pork katsu because it's the pork cutlet, and then it's covered in a Japanese panko breadcrumbs and deep fried, so it gets a really thick and airy and crispy, crunchy crust. And then you have the iconic flavors of like a chicken parmesan because you got the parsley and the parmesan cheese on top as well. So to me, this is like a really well executed dish. I also want to try some of this pasta as well, which I'm curious about because they use the US Wagyu meat sauce for this. The pasta is really interesting as well. The sauce is so flavorful. It's very sweet, which I think is because it's the Japanese style, but it also has a decent bit of tartness as well. And I feel like that complements the quality of the meat because it does not taste like your typical ground beef. I can tell that it's some sort of higher quality meat. All of the food was delicious, but I couldn't forget about dessert, so I ordered their matcha tiramisu. Typically, I'm not a big tiramisu fan, but anytime matcha is involved, I'm down. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. I love all the matcha powder on top. The real star of the show is the cream. It tastes like it's a mixture of cream cheese and whipped cream. It's very heavy and dense and rich, almost like a cheesecake, and has a very creamy and almost buttery taste to it. And this stuff is addicting. I mean, I feel like I could eat several of those because they're really small and they're just so tasty. Overall, this was a really unique dining experience, and I loved every single item I tried. But however, I do have one standout favorite from all the savory dishes, and that would be that mentaiko pasta. I've never tried anything like it before, and like I said, it's hard to find mentaiko here in the States, and I can certainly get my mentaiko fix with that pasta, and that is a fire tasting pasta. Unfortunately today they didn't have another one of their specials, which is a mentaiko and mochi pizza, and I think that would be really tasty as well, so I gotta head back here one day. You also gotta end your meal off with that matcha tiramisu. That is incredible. If you're all looking for a cultural dining experience, you should definitely check out La Casa Mia. I think you're really gonna love their unique take on Japanese Italian food. Anyways, as always, I really hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure if you did to give it a like, and also make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.